the last couple of years, and after a lot of deliberation, it is clear to me that it is in the best interests of Oregonians to ensure public ownership of the Elliott State Forest for future generations. The appraised value of the forest was surprisingly low at $220 million. We don't know what the future holds, and I think that retaining the Elliott as a state asset is the proper exercise of the fiduciary responsibility of the state. Public ownership protects public access, which is critical for Oregonians, whether they be children at outdoor school, hunters, anglers, or hikers. The protocol only produced one proposal. We had hoped, frankly, to compare proposals, but ultimately we could not. In conversations that I have had since the proposal came out, it was clear to me, at least in the conversations that I had, that the terms may have been too restrictive and the timeline may have been too short. But certainly the process did not lead to the results that I had hoped for. I certainly know that Lone Rock and its partners worked very hard on this proposal for a number of months and invested in it, and we appreciate very much their good faith. I think it's fair to say, from my perspective, the importance of state-owned land has increased as the future of federal public lands has come into question. We also know that Oregon is still not on track to meet our climate goals, and some of you may have read recently the report from the Global Warming Commission. I commend it to you for nighttime reading. But it shows that we are missing greenhouse gas reduction targets. I think that growing forests are an important carbon sink and something that Oregon does very, very well. Even in the face of complicated challenges, I believe we must strive to protect the values we hold dear. To do so, I support the Elliott State Forest remaining in public ownership, with either the state or the tribes owning or partnering to own the land. The proposal that I have put on the table includes up to $100 million in state bonding capacity to protect critical habitats, including riparian areas, steep slopes, and old growth stands. The Senate President came forward with a specific proposal. I want to make sure that we keep all of our bonding options on the table. The investment would go toward the Common School Fund, and most importantly, as we've heard over the last couple of years, decouple a portion of the forest from the Common School Trust lands. On the remainder of the forest, what I would propose is that we enter into negotiations with federal services for a habitat conservation plan to allow for sustainable timber harvest while protecting endangered and threatened species. Under this proposal, I think the expectation is to average about 20 million board feet per year over the long term, though we know, as the director mentions, in certain years these numbers fluctuate. But I think that is a rough goal that we can work towards. I am also hoping, I think many of you know that I've had the incredible opportunity to serve and work with the tribes as a member of the Commission on Indian Services, and I'm very committed to working with our tribes to partner with them to manage their ancestral lands while protecting the Common School Fund. At this stage, I believe we need to end the protocol while continuing conversations with the tribes